I, 42 male, struggle with whether I handled this situation correctly. My fiancée, 35 female, and I have been together for a couple of years and have been living together since early last year, and we got engaged in March. I have a teenage daughter from my previous marriage and a good relationship with my ex-wife. My fiancée, however, comes from a challenging background. Her father passed away in a tragic accident when she was a teenager, and she grew up in a home with alcohol issues and frequent conflict. She craves security and love but can become very abrasive and hurtful when she's upset. She's also dependent on medications which she consumes daily. Her life happens in spurts. She's very active, energetic and goal-focused, or she's upset and emotionally fragile, or she spends large amounts of time, days on end, disengaged from life, in bed playing computer games, oftentimes neglecting self-care. Last month she broke off our engagement 3 times in 1 month. The first time it was over something small. She was overwhelmed and a minor issue pushed her over the edge. The second time she ended things because my ex-wife contacted me to check on my family. The third time she broke up with me because I chatted online with a former partner. Each time we reconciled, but after the third breakup I didn't immediately offer the ring back. The repeated breakups had hurt me deeply, and I was hesitant to open myself up to that pain again. A few days ago she asked me if I still loved her, and if marriage and having a child was still on the table. I told her yes to both. We had a nice day together, but later that evening, she asked if she could have her engagement ring back. I hesitated because it felt like a big step, and I didn't want to make a rash decision since we both had some wine. After giving it some thought, I gave her the ring, but she got upset that I hadn't handed it over immediately. She said my hesitation was hurtful and I should have given it more thought. Later that night she had an emotional meltdown, saying she was at rock bottom, not just in our relationship, but in life. She told me this is her second relationship, where the man doesn't want to marry her and that she has nothing left to give. I tried to reassure her that I loved her and wanted to be with her, but she told me not to say such things because they were hurtful. She didn't want to be touched and insisted I sleep in another room. The thing is, I do love her deeply and want her to feel secure and cared for, but her frequent emotional meltdowns and outbursts are really wearing me down. Just 2 days earlier, she'd been upset with me over minor misunderstandings, accused me of being untrustworthy, and had a tantrum about the house not being fully unpacked, which led me to sleeping in another room again. So am I the idiot for hesitating to give her back the ring? I love her and want to marry her, but I'm scared and drained from how things have been. Not the idiot, but you are the dumb fool for getting back with this person, and to even contemplate having a child with her. Have you lost your mind? Get away from her. She has weaponized your engagement. Get your ring back or not, break things off and go no contact. This level of immaturity is too much to handle. You are dooming yourself to a hard life with her. Exactly, she has no business being in a relationship until she goes through long-term psychotherapy. Opie needs to run in the opposite direction. His love cannot fix her. I would really like to know what it is that Opie loves about her, because I only read about meltdowns, emotional outbursts and addiction. I hope Opie's daughter is not there during these. Opie himself needs extensive therapy. Being willing to subject yourself to that kind of relationship under the guise of "my love will fix her or him" is an issue, since being the savior isn't a good thing. They both have no business being in a relationship until they work on their own issues. But yes, her more than him. Opie, think about what your child is watching, seeing you being hurt over and over. The daughter is learning either how to do this to a partner to get what she wants, or that she needs to be a doormat to be loved. Do better for her. I, 49 female, have 2 kids, Mia, 22 female, and Ben, 19 male. Mia has been dating her boyfriend Jake, 23 male, for about a year. I've met Jake a few times, and while he's polite on the surface, I find him a bit abrasive. Jake is vegan and extremely vocal about his food choices. At nearly every family gathering, he's made pointed comments about our meals, questioning why we eat meat or buy non-organic produce. At first, I brushed it off as youthful enthusiasm, but over time it started to grate on me. The last time Jake came over for dinner, I made a pasta dish with the side salad to accommodate his dietary preferences. Despite this effort, he still criticized the meal, asking why I didn't use real Parmesan cheese, since authentic Parmesan isn't vegan. When I offered him dessert, an apple pie I baked from scratch, he declined and said he doesn't eat sugar because it's toxic. He didn't just decline though, he launched into a 5-minute lecture about how processed foods are ruining society. The rest of the family was visibly uncomfortable, and I had to steer the conversation away to keep the peace. Thanksgiving is a huge deal in our family. We host it every year and I spend weeks planning the menu. It's all the traditional stuff: turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, green bean casserole, pumpkin pie. I take great pride in the meal and I love how it brings everyone together. This year we're hosting about 15 people, including my parents, my sister's family, and a few close friends. A couple of weeks ago, Mia asked if Jake could come. I hesitated, remembering his previous behaviour. I told her I wasn't sure it was a good idea. She promised he'd be on his best behaviour and wouldn't make any comments about the food. I still felt uneasy. I know she loves him, but I don't think she fully grasps how uncomfortable his attitude has made the rest of us. After thinking about it for a few days, I told her no. I explained that Thanksgiving is stressful enough without worrying about Jake criticising the meal or making anyone feel judged. I wanted this day to be about family, tradition and enjoyment, not navigating dietary debates or awkward tension. Mia was furious. She accused me of being unfair and disrespectful, saying that Jake is an important part of her life and should be treated as such. She argued that I was making assumptions about his behaviour without giving him a chance to prove he could behave. I tried to explain that it's not personal, I just want to avoid conflict, but Mia wouldn't hear it. She said I was being rigid and controlling, and now she's threatening not to come at all if Jake isn't welcome. Ben, 19, my son, thinks I'm overreacting and that I should just let Jake come. My husband is caught in the middle. He understands my frustration with Jake, but thinks banning him outright might have been too harsh. Now I'm second-guessing myself. I don't dislike Jake, but his behaviour puts me in a difficult position. I don't want to ruin Thanksgiving, but I also don't think it's fair to prioritise Jake's feelings over the comfort of the rest of the family. Mia thinks I'm being unreasonable, Ben thinks I'm being too strict, and my husband just wants everyone to get along. At this point, I'm starting to wonder if I'm being inflexible or if I have a right to set boundaries in my home. Am I the idiot? Mia is complaining on behalf of Jake. She can cook then. Ben thinks that you're overreacting. Good, he can help his sister. Full cooking and cleaning. Those who do not cook have no say in the kitchen. Push back if they complain one single bit. Not the idiot. I hate people who complain about food, especially when they don't even do the cooking. I have a better idea. Let him come. When he's brutally honest, you be brutally honest in return. Tell him how rude he is. Tell him he doesn't have to come. Tell him how uncomfortable he makes people with his sanctimonious lecturing. Tell him how he's ruined every meal you've invited him to and how his behaviour is appalling. We're all being honest and unfiltered now. Ha ha ha, this is gold. Mia darling, you insisted Jake come to dinner now. Please ensure he behaves or you'll both be sent for a time out. And do it in front of him too. Then turn your eyes to make direct eye contact with Jake as you walk away. I say this as a very strict vegan. You are not the idiot. He's a lousy guest. I, 36 female, and my husband, 42 male, go away for 2 weeks every November to my parents' villa in Tenerife. We usually go with 4 of his friends. This has been happening every year for the past 5 years with my husband and his friends, but I've gone there every year since I was 18 in November as a last bit of heat and to top up my tan before winter hits. Whenever I go on holiday, I sunbathe topless, which is no different. Anytime we're outside, I'm topless, sunbathing, swimming in the pool and eating outside. It just feels natural as this place feels like home to me. My husband and his friends don't care as they've known from the start how it is. This year, one of his friends couldn't make it, so one of his other friends asked if he could bring his girlfriend Rose. They've been together for 6 months and I've met her a few times. She seems nice, so I said yes. I messaged Rose privately and said I'm glad she's coming along and it'll be nice to have another woman there, and I told her that unless we leave the villa, I intend to spend the whole time topless as I love the warmth and the seclusion. She said that's fine and she sunbathes topless too. Great. For the first couple of days she was topless when sunbathing or swimming too, but would get dressed for food, play board games or sit around the outside fire. Then on the 4th or 5th day she stopped sunbathing topless, which is fine, her choice obviously. She also became a bit cold towards me, and then the second week she didn't talk to me at all, and it was obvious she was actively avoiding me. I didn't want to ruin her holiday, so I left it, but when we got back I messaged her and asked if I did something wrong. She said she got tired of me flaunting myself and showing off. I said I wasn't showing off, I was sitting around the whole time with no makeup on and my hair pulled back in a ponytail. She said I love the men ogling me. I replied she was topless too, and she said, I was, but you could have warned me you'd be literally topless the whole time. I couldn't keep up. This was feeling stupid now, so I told her I'd already said when we were at the villa I'd be topless as it didn't seem worth it to keep taking a top on and off. The only time I put one on is if we were sitting inside on the furniture. She just replied with K, which made me angry. I've told my husband and he said next year I shouldn't go topless if it upsets her. I said she won't be coming next year or I'll be going alone. I'm not being disrespected at my own family's holiday home. It's been no problem for the last few years. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. I went to live in Spain years ago and a conversation with locals about topless sunbathing came up. Was there any etiquette to it? Their belief was that sunbathing was fine and swimming was fine, but general activities or eating topless was classed as a no-no. Maybe there was a bit of miscommunication when she thought sunbathing topless was fine versus being topless all the time, which she was uncomfortable with. Nakedness is an individual preference that you two are obviously comfortable with different parts of. Did you read beyond the story? OP literally said, "Unless we leave the villa, I spend the whole time topless." It's OP's parents' home. She can do as she pleases. If the guys are going to ogle, what's the difference between sunbathing and sitting at the table? They probably didn't ogle anyway, they're used to it. The female guest used the expression, keeping up. This wasn't a competition. The guest's insecurities are her own to handle, not OP's. OP, you're not the idiot, but melanoma is serious. I, nearly adult male, was screen sharing with my long-distance girlfriend 20 messages on social media and reading them together. And we came across an older direct message with a friend, let's call him Jack, that I didn't particularly want to see at that moment. I scrolled past it and told her that I didn't want to open that at the moment because I'll probably cringe looking at these messages and we can move on. She, however, kept pestering me about my messages with Jack, and I finally gave in and said, yes, we can look at them, but I won't be comfortable looking with you. You can look on your own time. She then got upset, and I'll share why in the context below. Context? She and I have been dating for over a year at this point, going on about 16 months, and even though I constantly reassure her that she's my one and only, and I don't and will never have feelings for anyone else, she constantly accuses me of cheating, sometimes jokingly, sometimes not so jokingly. About the direct messages she got upset over with Jack. She and I have talked about exes in the past, the fact that I only have had one ex and that one person ended up cheating on me. I found out that she was cheating through Jack messaging me and providing proof through screenshots of my ex quite literally trying to cheat on me with him right behind my back. This was the exact message that I scrolled past, not wanting to see it. I lost whatever feelings I had long ago with my ex, even before I broke it off when I found out she was cheating. My now girlfriend, let's call her Mary, accuses me of still having feelings for her simply because I didn't want to open the messages with Jack. She won't even talk to me about it. She thinks I'm lying when I say I haven't even thought about my ex in months, if not years, and won't listen to anything I'm saying. Mary said that because I didn't want to open the message, I still had feelings for the girl. She's still upset at me while I write this, and I don't know what to do. Am I the idiot for hiding a message from my girlfriend that I cringe to look at? Wait, why were you screen sharing and reading your private messages to your girlfriend in the first place? Having access to one another's phones is one thing, using it against one another is something totally different. My husband and I have access to each other's phones, not to search each other's personal messages. There needs to be trust, and there is none here. You are the idiot yourself. As someone who is in a long-distance relationship, I can tell this isn't going to work. I'm sorry, but if you can't be trusted by your older girlfriend to the point that she's going through your messages on screen share, she's never going to stop accusing you of cheating. That's controlling behavior, and reading through messages is actually considered a form of abuse. She needs therapy, or to grow up a bit. LOL, very on brand for 18-year-olds to think going through your direct messages together is the pinnacle of honesty and open communication. You might as well get a joint Facebook account while you're at it. Oh my, just break up already. This is not healthy relationship behavior. I, 34 female, have 2 children, tween and toddler, whose birthdays are 1 month apart exactly. When my toddler's birthday passed, I didn't hear anything from my sister, 50 female. I didn't think much of it because we aren't terribly close and have a history of a high-conflict relationship. When my eldest birthday passed, they received a text message from their aunt wishing them a happy birthday, which was so nice for them. My eldest birthday was about a month ago, and this week a birthday gift from their aunt was dropped off for them. They loved the gift and were sure to text a thank you to their aunt, but later seemed to be a bit down. When I asked them if everything was alright, they asked me why their sibling didn't get anything for their birthday. Not wanting to taint my child's perception of their aunt, I said that she's a busy lady and I don't think she knows the exact date of her sister's birthday, and it was just an oversight. Today I messaged my sister to let her know how much her niece loved her present and reminded her of the date of my youngest birthday for next year. Her reply honestly shocked me a bit. She said she knew and mentioned some offhanded similarity between another family member's birthday. Knowing she knew and intentionally ignored my youngest on her birthday was a bit upsetting. I remembered a distant visit with my sister and her saying, "I'll start buying her presents when she likes me," but I thought it was just a joke and brushed it off. I'll note here that my toddler is not a big people person, is quite shy and is what some may consider rude, as she will actively bury herself in my lap to avoid anyone trying to talk to her or prod at her. I don't force her to interact but encourage her to be polite, and she'll generally warm up fairly quickly. That being said, we rarely see this aunt, so there have been few opportunities to build a relationship with the toddler. In my next message, I asked her to refrain from buying my eldest presents in the future and that just a happy birthday was more than enough, and made the girls feel acknowledged and special if she didn't want to buy something for my youngest. It's not fair to the little one, and it made my eldest feel guilty for receiving something from a family member when she noticed that her sister had not. From my sister's response, I take it she's not too pleased with me. I don't want to presume to tell her how to spend her money, but I don't want my children to have hurt feelings in the future. I also don't feel like lying to my eldest about why her sister didn't get a gift just to preserve her image of her aunt if she doesn't want to treat my kids equally. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You have every right to accept or not a gift for your children, and it's normal that you ask your sister to buy gifts for both or none because it's unfair for your children. The only idiot I see here is your sister, who's petty enough to punish a toddler for committing the unforgivable crime of not liking her. Frankly, I totally understand your youngest if that was the case, although I believe that she simply doesn't know her aunt enough. It's difficult to like an adult who acts with such pettiness and close-mindedness. Disagree. From her point of view, she's just buying presents for the people close to her. From yours, you're avoiding favoritism between children too young to understand or be accountable for it. Just talk with her about how the kids are too young to understand this, and so just a simple cheap item for the younger kid is fine. Also, you'll help remind her about birthdays. I have multiple siblings, and how easy it is to remember their birthdays has nothing to do with how close we are, and everything to do with how convenient the date is to remember.